Hello, my name's Amanda DJ and I'm from Your Soul's Potential. And today I'm going to read you a dream that a lady had with reference to the fifth dimension. And I hope it resonates with you as much as it did with me. As a healer, if this is what's to come, then welcome it with both arms wide open. And the new earth, if this is how it's to be, which I don't see why it wouldn't be, is going to be just wonderful. So I'm just going to read you what she wrote. I've cut it back as far as I can without losing the essence of her dream, because it's very long-winded to say the least for itself. In a dream, I saw the future, a blueprint of how 5D could look. You know the kind of dream where you wake up and wonder if your brain just got hacked by some higher power. It was so vivid, so real, that I'm still not convinced I didn't actually astral project into an alternate reality. And in this dream, something incredible happened. The world changed overnight, no warning, no memo from the universe, just boom, a complete cosmic shift. No zombies or asteroids hurtling towards us. It was something far more extraordinary. We remembered that we weren't separate. We were taught that we are separate and we are not. And she says, just let that sink in for a minute, that we are not separate. All the walls we built around ourselves and the ones that make us think we're little islands floating along in a vast ocean disappeared. And suddenly we could feel each other's emotion, all of them, raw, unfiltered, and frankly overwhelming. Imagine scrolling through everyone's emotional Facebook post at the same time, but instead of just watching it, you felt it. Then came the first moments of connection with humanity. It started small. I woke up in my dream and thought, something feels different. I couldn't put my finger on it, but I picked up my cup of tea and immediately burst into tears. Not because the tea was bad, but because my neighbour 3 doors down was having a full-blown crisis over her cat ignoring her, and somehow I was feeling it. As I stepped outside, it was like someone cranked up the emotional dial to 100 and then tossed away the control. I felt the tribute of a woman who parallel parked on the first try. I felt the despair of someone opening a bag of crisps and realising it was mostly air. I could feel the anger of the barista dealing with the third Karen of the day, trying to stay composed, while the universe silently made them the punching bag for all human frustration. I felt the excitement of a child discovering their first rainbow. It was like being thrown into a pool of everyone's feelings. It was deep, really, really deep. Then came the emotional crusade. At first, it was chaos, utterly chaotic. People were stumbling out of their homes, clutching their chests like they'd run a marathon, while simultaneously having an emotional breakdown. One guy in his pajamas was sitting on the curb, alternating between sobs and giggles. He said, I could feel the joy of a toddler who just learned how to say car, and the stress of the mum trying to get him to sleep. He then pointed at a trash can. The trash can is feeling betrayed because it hasn't been emptied in 2 days. It's working through it, and I'm pretty sure the trash can is my spiritual animal. But it wasn't all bad. Sure, it was overwhelming, like drinking 5 Red Bulls and then trying to meditate. But it was also strangely beautiful. You couldn't hide anymore. Everyone's walls came crashing down, and there was no room for pretending. It was raw, messy, and so real. All the deceptions died that day, completely, forever. You couldn't fake anything anymore. If someone said, I'm fine, while internally spiraling, you knew it. If a politician gave a speech full of empty promises, their guilt practically slapped you in the face. CEOs couldn't hide behind team activities while exploiting workers because the emotional backlash hit them like a freight train. Even Instagram became unrecognized. Gone were the blessed posts of fake smiles. If someone tried to post a beach selfie while secretly crying over their credit card debt, the truth radiated like a neon. Influencers quit en masse because you couldn't sell protein powder while feeling dead inside. It just didn't vibe anymore. Then came the hugs. It started when someone decided to just hug it out, and it spread like a wave in the ocean. Strangers were hugging in grocery stores, people were hugging delivery drivers or mailmen. It didn't matter. Everyone just needed to connect. Even anger became productive. Someone would yell, "I am mad at you," and the other person would reply, "I know, and I feel it, and I'm sorry." And suddenly they'd be sobbing in each other's arms and making good. Road rage gone. You couldn't honk at someone without feeling their childhood trauma, and that changed everything. Here's where things got really interesting. Greed couldn't survive. It wasn't just unethical anymore, it was physically unbearable. Imagine being a billionaire and suddenly feeling the despair of every unpaid worker who made your lifestyle possible. Wars stopped overnight. Pollution slowed down, then stopped. You couldn't bomb a village or dump waste into a river because the emotional toll would knock you out cold. Entire industries collapsed, and no one cared because we realized that what we really wanted wasn't money, it was connection with each other and Mother Earth. With greed gone, humanity turned its attention to healing. And did we need it? People who had carried trauma for decades finally let it out because they knew they weren't alone. Therapy sessions turned into group hug marathons. Grief became a shared experience, not a lonely burden. On the earth, she thrived. We could feel the trees breathing, the ocean sighing, the mountains standing tall and steady above us. People planted trees, cleaned rivers, and stopped being the problem and causing pollution on the planet. Not because they had to, but because it felt right. When I woke up from my dreams, tears were streaming down my face, not from sadness, but from the overwhelming beauty of what I had seen. It just wasn't any dream, it was a glimpse of what we could be. And the most heart-wrenching part, it felt possible, tangible, like a forgotten truth buried deep within us, waiting to be remembered. Imagine waking up every day in a world where kindness wasn't the exception, it was the rule, where no one had to scream into the void for attention because everyone was already listening. A world where pain wasn't something to be hidden or judged, but something to be held and shared until it softened and dissolved in the light of the collective compassion. In this world, love wasn't just a fleeting emotion, it was a force. It was woven into every interaction, every decision. People weren't afraid to show their hearts because vulnerability wasn't a risk anymore, it was a bridge. Relationships were deeper, richer, and more honest. There were no games, no second guessing. What did that person mean? What does that text mean? There was just pure connection with no nonsense. Conflict still existed, but it was different. You couldn't hate someone when you could feel their fear, their sorrow, their hope. Arguments became opportunities for understanding, not battlegrounds. Leaders didn't rule with power, they guided with empathy, feeling the weight of every decision in their hearts. Imagine a government that didn't act out of greed or ambition, but from a deep sense of responsibility of every soul it served. Imagine policies shaped not by profit but by love. And creativity flourished like never before because every painting, every song, every story carried the weight of the collective's emotions. You didn't just watch a movie, you felt it, you lived it, you breathed it. Every human became an artist, weaving their emotions into something beautiful, something real. And then Earth began to heal. We treated nature now as something separate, but as an extension of ourselves. We treated nature not as something separate, but as the extension of ourselves. Pollution stopped because no one could bear the Earth's pain anymore. We planted trees, cleaned rivers, restored the soil, not out of obligation, but because it felt right. It felt like we were also healing ourselves. And loneliness, it vanished. Not because everyone was suddenly surrounded by people, but because we finally understood that we were never truly alone. Every emotion we felt was shared, echoed, and understood. People who spent their lives feeling invisible, unworthy, or unloved suddenly found themselves wrapped in a tapestry of connection. Imagine the relief of knowing without a shadow of a doubt that you mattered, that your joy, your pain, your existence rippled out and touched everyone around you. The world isn't perfect, but it was alive, it was full, and it was vibrant. It wasn't dumb or detached or drowned in empathy. It was awake. Every moment mattered because every moment was shared. Every person mattered because every person was felt. When I woke up, I lay there for a long time, staring at the ceiling, wondering why this world couldn't be real. Maybe it could be real. Maybe it wasn't just a dream, but a blueprint, a whisper from the universe, telling us that we are capable. What if we all stopped pretending we were separate? What if we chose to feel, to connect, to love, not someday, but now? I think about this world continuously. I think about how much lighter our hearts would feel and how much kinder we'd be to ourselves and each other. I think about the beauty we created, the lives we could transform, the healing we could finally begin. And I wonder, what are we waiting for? She continues, I don't know what it is, and I am still processing it all, but it was real, so much more tangible than everyday reality, and I just have the deep urge to tell everyone about it, share it with people, in the hope that it would plant a seed of something wonderful. So thank you. Thank you for your time, kindness, and your support, your willingness to imagine something better. You've turned this dream into something even more beautiful than I ever expected. Let's keep dreaming, imagining, creating together, because maybe, just maybe, this dream world is closer than we think. Every revolutionary idea, every shift in consciousness started as a thought in someone's mind. When we imagine something vividly, we are not just picturing it, we are starting to breathe life into it. The more people join in this vision, the stronger and more tangible it becomes, like adding bricks to building a bridge between dream and reality. We're going to get there one day at a time. And she sends her love. This was just so powerful. As a healer, I felt I had to share it, because if this is where my guides have been pushing me to understand, then I get it. And I think everyone who reads it or listens to it will get it too. I apologize if I stumble sometimes, because sometimes I do, and that's just my humanness. And I just hope you feel the message, because as I read this, my guides and angels were going crazy around me, letting me know that every word I read was truth. And I share it with you in the hope that you'll share it with someone else, because as this young lady said, the more we dream of this reality, the stronger it will become, and the sooner it will come into our reality and our consciousness. We're doing a great service at the moment of lifting the vibration of ourselves and Mother Earth to get us up to 5D, and to know that this is what could be waiting for us when we get there is just truly immense. And not only that, we'll be able to hear and speak to the animals when we do get there. I can't wait, to be honest. And no one will be sick anymore because we'll be able to heal it. It's just going to be so amazing. I can't wait. And I just send all my love and gratitude to you all for listening to this. And I really, really hope you get something out of it, as I did, and everyone that I've shared it with. Love and light to you all. Namaste.